is my man, Tyvis Powell.
Hi, Timmy. What's going on? Are you excited for game day?
I'm so excited. I didn't even have the applause thingy ready here because it's different.
Doesn't matter.
It's different than the usual thing.
I'm fired up because it's game day.
Can you believe we're here, buddy?
It seems like it's been just such a long off season, I guess, from the Cotton Bowl till now. It's just been a very long time, and it's been so much. We've had time to be upset and depressed. Then we had a great off season to get us motivated again and get everything back going. And now that we're here on game day, it's like, let's see it. Let's see this product, this national champion team. Let's see what it looks like.
I don't even remember that last football game.
Yeah, me
don't
either.
remember it. Not one thing about it.
There's a lot of people that have taken that out of their memory bank.
I remember it was. I remember it was a little Devin Brown and some Lincoln Keenholz things.
Something like that.
That's it.
Yeah, that's.
And then the rest
like
of it is just it's just out of sight, out of my mind.
Jack Sawyer had like 3 sacks or something like that. That's all I remember.
Jack was okay in that game. Yeah, that's the only other thing, but I didn't remember it until you just told me right now. But this is it. We get to see so many things play out.
Yeah.
You're a 50-point favorite against Akron. This is a really bad football team that is coming here. I kind of am leaning towards a 63-0 type of showing. And I know it's hard to predict for week 1 because you got to iron those kinks out. But, Tyvis, how much have they been doing that already with some good, crisp practices, albeit the heat of this last week and the final week of preparation building up to it?
Well, I mean, they've been doing ones-on-ones, and obviously that talent is much better than what you're going to see today against Akron. So if they was able to make plays against their ones, then they should be fine against Akron. I think that they should be shooting to cover that spread because you want to see other young guys get in there. I mean, for us, when I play and we played these type of games, the motivation was get these young guys in there, get some of these walk-ons on there because a lot of their dreams is to play in the shoe as well. And, when you get into Big Ten conference play, it gets a little bit more competitive. But these are the games that you can get those guys to fulfill those dreams. So if this team is as close and the brotherhood is as strong as it's possibly ever been, then their motivation is I want to get these walk-ons in and these younger guys some reps.
Tyvis, I really want to get a feeling from you here for the next few minutes as to what we are going to see from this defensive back group and why they could be so special. And do you think, would you ever admit that this might even be a unit that could be better talent-wise than what you guys had when you were running at high capacity and winning a national championship?
Talent-wise? That's hard to beat. I mean, I was the weakest.
Hard to beat.
I was the weakest link in there, and they really don't have no weak link. So I guess you could say that they would be better than us from a talent standpoint. But production is what it's going to come down to. Can these guys get the takeaways that we were able to get in 2014 when we won it all? And I think that they absolutely can. I think that has been a focal point for them this whole entire offseason. And listen, from what I've heard about Akron's offensive line, it's not great. So that means that this pass rush is going to come alive and that quarterback's going to throw some passes that maybe he shouldn't have. It's time for them to take advantage of those. This is a game that you should absolutely walk away with at least 2 takeaways.
Well, did you realize in the numbers game, I'm curious, you being a former player, how would you guys set your goals based on what you had already been accomplishing? From a numbers standpoint, not saying, of course, your goal is to win the football game. That's always goal number 1.
Yeah.
And these guys could never say that they're as good as you guys unless they win a national championship because that's what you guys pulled off. So it would be that, and then you can get into those debate. But talent-wise, last year, this Ohio State pass defense was number 1 in the country.
It was.
And they only yielded 145 passing yards per game and I think 9 passing touchdowns. And
that's elite.
It's elite, right? In the yardage, they were number 1 by, I think, 15 or 20 yards. And I think Michigan was second. But what's the goal this year? To not let QBs hit the century mark? I'm serious when I say that.
When you perform that well, there's always things that you can get better at. For me, if I was on this defense, the thing that I would tell them is starts today. We need to get the sack numbers up. That's something that we have really lacked in a good 4 or 5 years here.
You need havoc.
We got to get some game-changing sacks.
Yeah.
That really just changes things. It takes the momentum away from other teams. Sacks is big, and that's something we miss. And I would say the takeaways, we got to get our hands on more passes. We know that we're going to stay on top. We know that we can stop them from getting the explosive plays. Let's turn it over a little bit. Let's up it a little bit more, and let's get our hands on the ball. And instead of our offense scoring all the points, let us get some points on defense.
Hey, man, I agree with you, and we've talked about it too, because I give you those numbers on the good side for the passing defense. Well, the bad, I think last year Ohio State ranked somewhere around 120 out of 131 FBS teams. I mean, they're down there with schools that you don't want to be by, right? In any of the rankings. That's where they were in turnover margin, and that was just unusual to see. I think they were you got to have more. I would give up almost 60, 70 yards passing, and those numbers, like average closer to 200 passing yards given up if you're getting me 3 to 4 takeaways per game. Because when you're playing the when you're playing the Georgias and the Bamas, when things count more, those change games and change seasons. Yeah, in that way.
Well, I think that they will. I think Jim Knowles have made that a point of emphasis this year. You know, his first season, it was aggressive, and they gave up a lot of explosives. Last year, he dialed it back, and he went completely opposite of that and said, we're giving up no explosives. Right. I think that you got to find a happy medium in there. You do. And it comes from a confidence thing. You know, once you see, all right, they're not threatening me. I'm not worried about this athlete that I'm going against. I can get myself in position to make a play. Like when I can play wide receiver, I can catch the ball as well. When that ball goes up, it's my ball. That's what your mentality has to be. And I think that we'll see that this year. You know, going to get Caleb Downs and Lathan's back and he's healthy and we know he's a ball hawk in the post. I'm excited today. I think that they get 2 takeaways today.
You got 5 or 6 players in that defensive backfield.
Yeah.
And then you take a look at a guy like Sonny who says bye-bye to the defensive backfield, but he's still an outside backer, you know, that could do some of those things.
Yeah.
And you almost don't know who to fix your eyes on. You know what I mean? Like if you're going there with your son or whatever, and you kind of have certain players that you circle. I know people that go to the stadium, you might like to watch them play in the trenches and maybe kind of avoid everything else. And this is the type of game where you could do that, where like fix your eyes on number 1 on defense and just watch how he moves, watch what he does. Like who are you watching? I think the easy answer is Caleb Downs, but there's a lot of good players back there.
Everybody's going to come to watch Caleb Downs on defense first. That'll be the first person, because he comes with so much accolades from being a freshman SEC All-American, and you know he was a huge transfer portal get. So people want to see him. You know, they want to see what it looks like to be a SEC All-American and stuff like that. So he'll be first. After that, I think that you'll see Sonny Styles. I would love to see them blitz Sonny and some of the other guys. Jack Sawyer, JTT, all of those guys is going to be phenomenal, and I think they're going to make a ton of plays. I think the guy that they're going to try to go after is Davison Igbinosun, because Denzel Burke is kind of stamped as a really good lockdown
Davison
corner.
Should love that.
If you know IGB, you know that he's a very competitive person.
Ooh, please throw my way.
So they're going to try him, and when they do, if he makes a play, you're going to know, because he's going to get up, he's going to trash talk, he's going to get everybody amped up.
He's going to buckle the seatbelt,
all of those things. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be fired up just watching him do it, because it's something that whole entire defensive unit is just going to be energized because of a play that he makes. So I think that that's something that you can look forward to.
Help me out with the DB Sellies, where we are now. Is that the tops right now? I know like my son and his friends, they're all doing the buckle the seatbelt, like strapped, you know.
It's either that or
what else is it?
They waving the no hands.
I don't want the waving. I don't want to see the waving incomplete anymore.
I used to do the finger wag. I used to do the Matumbo.
That's good.
Not on Tyvus. Not on Tyvus. No. That was my thing. So
we kind of have to put him to sleep as a thing from Steph. Oh, right? I don't know if that can come from the DBs now. I think
Lathan did that last year, actually. Well, I think he might have. He did something, and I promise you, he did that celebration.
I'm looking forward to seeing something new and creative.
We'll see.
Something I haven't seen
When I got to pick, me and Vine used to do a handshake, and then I make it rain. I throw the money in the air. So that was my celebration when I got an interception. Hopefully.
What was your line at the combine?
I ain't dropping no money. I ain't dropping no money today. And they better not drop no money, because it's going to be a lot of money that can be made out there today. When that opportunity comes, you better make sure you cash in.
Well, wasn't the other thing you did, if you would make a big play and have a run back, you would find the quarterback's mother?
If we got an interception, you point to his mother and tell her, thank you. Thank you for raising him. You did well. He's a philanthropist. He's a great guy.
He's a philanthropist. He's a giver. He's very charitable. Yep. We appreciate that about your boy, Ben Finley, Akron's quarterback, coming in here. So where are you going to be here today? I mean, we're doing this little taping before we got the game day here.
Yeah.
You're doing your work. for Big Ten Network. 3rd year doing the kickoff show, the tailgate show.
Second year.
Oh, God, it seems like 3 years.
I know, time flies, but it's only the 2nd year. I'll be in West Lafayette, Purdue.
What's the big game for Purdue?
Purdue's playing Indiana State.
The Sycamores, the Fighting Larry Birds.
Larry Birds.
Let's go.
Yes, but
you going to get Larry Bird on the show?
No, we're not getting Larry Bird on the show because it's a Purdue thing. But it should be fun watching that. Ryan Walters' 2nd year. He's hit the transfer portal very hard. He's got the number 7 transfer portal. So it's interesting to see how that offensive line and how those guys that he's gotten in there plugs in. Last year they were decimated by their offensive line because they had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. So Hudson Card is he bulked up this offseason, put on 10 to 15 more pounds. Hopefully with some of those new transfers in there, they got 3 guys that's coming back. So hopefully those guys can really protect him because I think he could be a really good quarterback.
Shoot, Purdue is just one of those squads you look at and say, good luck finishing in the top 14.
They got a long way to go. They got a long way to go, but it starts today.
Tyvis, what are you going to be wearing? I know you try to keep it neutral, just black and black denim, maybe all black for Purdue?
I did that last year. I think I might throw the brown. Maybe I throw a brown shirt. I don't think I have a gold one, so I might throw a brown shirt on.
Black and brown, huh?
Yeah.
All right. That'll be interesting.
It's in the ballpark.
Well, have fun.
I will.
Have fun.
I'm sure me and Mike Hall will. That's all we are about is
the better
fun.
Hall.
No. Tim, you are the best.
No. You're trying to get that Nate Burleson career arc.
We'll see.
Trying to get it going here.
I have a long way to go before I'm on Nate Burleson's level.
You could get on the Today Show one day. You got to get past sports eventually, to where sports is just your side gig type of thing.
Yeah, that's going to be tricky for me.
All right, this was great. Tyvis Powell, we always love him. Loved hearing you with Ice. Even though Rothman was sick a little bit this week, you guys were cracking me up.
Yeah, he's a
$100 million podcast conversation.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Oh, man. All right. Good to see you, buddy. Have a great day.
Enjoy game day.
We absolutely will, Tyvis. And don't you guys go anywhere because we're going to talk to a hog. We're going to talk to Jim Lachey coming up here as we get you set for Ohio State's Week 1 kickoff against Akron today at 3:30. It's the Best of the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Enjoy all the football this weekend, but remember to join us for Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan.
I'm a wife and the mother of 2 kids, and I've got a good job.
Bye, Mom. See you, Mom.
A pretty important job. Because of my family and my job, I really care about this neighborhood. It's a good neighborhood. Yes, there's some crime. And when I drive to work, like now, I realize that some people here don't trust the police. So the police should be reaching out to this community, and this community should reach out to the police. That's the way to make this a safer place. And when I get to work in the precinct house and put on my uniform, I can tell you as a police officer that this department is reaching out to the community, and the community is doing its part. We're building partnerships. This should be happening everywhere. This is how we can all be safer. Get involved. Start the conversation.
Start the conversation and help stop crime. To learn the 5 things you can do, go to ncpc.org/prevent violent crime. A message from the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
We don't talk politics on The Fan. Instead, you'll hear us talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes, the NFL, food, family, and fun. We're your safe space, except when Common Man violates it by playing fart noises. The Fan, Ohio's politics-free destination.
Find savings to celebrate this Labor Day with one stop at Meijer. Pick up fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef family pack for $2.99 per pound, limit 5. And fresh from Meijer family pack boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.49 per pound. Get a large whole seedless watermelon for $3.99. Meijer chips 3 for $5. And buy 5, save $5 on some additional Labor Day must-haves. Get everything you need to celebrate the holiday and save. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers and hot dogs on the grill, and a delicious, refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar in your hand. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Pepsi, the official beverage of Grill's Night Out.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is the best of the Buckeye Show. The most memorable moments from a show dedicated to all things Ohio State. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. It's the Buckeye Show, where our diet is football. And whatever diet Tyvus is on today.
The Buckeye Show is presented by Coors Light.
All right, the best of the Buckeye Show continues. Game day style. And a man that you did not want to have blocking you back when you were playing, it was Jim Lachey, who is now going into years as 26 on the broadcast crew. 28.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. That's awesome. Jim Lachey is here with us as he's going to be down at the stadium and just ready to ring in another season of Buckeye football at the Shoe. What does it mean to you to put on the headset for another season, Jim?
Well, you know, it's great. First of all, yeah, I mean, 28 years passed by pretty quick. I started in 97 and, you know, working with Paul the last 27 years, so that's been a lot of fun. And, you know, what excites me, number one, is when you see the band come down the ramp, you know, and you see the drum rager. I mean, that's when you kind of know, okay, this is real. And the excitement, you know, before the game in the parking lots, you know, that's always kind of special. Of course, I get there for a 3:30 game, I'll be there by noon or a little bit before, probably 11:30. So it's not as crazy then as it gets, but just seeing everybody pile in. And then, you know, when Foot hits the ball and you got that opening kickoff, and then, you know, people always ask me, what are you going to talk about? And I'm like, well, whatever happens. You know, that's kind of what we do. We describe the action, so we can't really pre-plan it. You got to prepare for a lot of different things. So, and that's it. You too, in the first game, you know, usually like for Western Michigan, I'll watch their Western Michigan. They're playing Wisconsin.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'll get a chance to watch that game and go over it and have a pretty good idea, you know, before the game. But when you got first game, you don't have a whole lot of that film, especially with this transfer portal. So, you kind of study as much as you can. You get your two deeps, your notes, things like that. Get to read through the guys' bios, kind of going through it, and then you just kind of go out there and let the game happen. And, but I'm looking forward to it. It's always great to be in Ohio Stadium to watch football. And, hey, the good thing about this year, 8 home games. So,
no kidding, right?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I'm wondering, Jim, if you could give us a quick peek behind the curtain. You mentioned doing this for almost 30 years now, and I'm sure there was a point when you first started, you were relying heavily on being the former player. But we know there's so much more that goes into an excellent broadcast like the ones that you guys put out there every Saturday. So I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit of what goes into your preparation to make it so excellent.
Yeah, and I guess that happens a lot during the week, the preparation. I think when I first started, I tried to have, so you have 22 guys, you have 11 starters, and you got 11 backups.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to, you wanted to have something on everybody. So you got 22 on offense, 22 on defense, special teams. So I was spending a lot of time, reading through all the bios, taking some notes on each and every guy.
Extra prepared.
Right. So but what happens is you hardly ever use that. You know
Sure.
what I mean? I mean, I try to hit the offensive line every game, but there's some times where, I might only talk about 2 or 3 of the starters during the course of the ball game, with a penalty or a great block or something like that, something will come up. So I think I've kind of learned, what's really important, and kind of refined it, and that's what happens with experience. You understand what you have to do, what you have to cover. And again, I'm working with a great guy, Paul Keel. So I kind of sometimes I get amazed. I'm just listening to him and like, okay, now I got a few seconds to talk. The thing that's kind of evolved throughout the years, back in the day, everybody huddled, right? I mean, so they would go back to the huddle and, basically when they're in the huddle, I would talk, and then when they broke the huddle, that's when Paul likes to kind of set up the formation, set up the personnel, set up the movement, and then ball is snapped, and he describes that and tell the tackle. He calls that the tackler, and then boom, that's my time to go on.
Yeah. So hopefully Chip doesn't keep things too fast for you, right? Like his old Eagles offense.
All of a sudden you got to kind of, change that a little bit of what you're trying to do. But, if you kind of think about it when you're looking at the old newspaper, reading a newspaper online, you get a headline and then you get a couple opening sentences, and that's kind of basically what I get to do is provide the color. So, put a headline out there, say something, great run, whatever you're going to do, and then, who contributed to that great run. And obviously the guy didn't do it all by himself. Sometimes they do, but the blocking scheme, who they're going against, somebody missed a tackle, somebody made a great block, something like that, and just kind of go into that, talk a little bit, throw some stats out there, and then, set it up for Paul to take it over down and distance and time the game and go to work.
Yeah, chemistry with your play-by-play broadcaster is a big thing, and it's just that team. It's almost like the Buckeyes are a team, and then you guys are your own team up there in the booth as well. And I do love how you will highlight what is going on in the trenches. That's your knack. That's what you did when you played, and you do a good job of describing that to everybody. That's a big focal point of this football team. And I know you've been pouring a lot of your notes into that and that extra level of toughness that they want to show. Tegra Shabola, we just heard, is going to be the guard, kind of filling out that offensive line. What are you looking forward to seeing here today?
Well, when I start watching a game, I kind of from my training as an offensive lineman and then 11 years in the NFL, I look at the defense, how they're lined up.
Right.
Whether they in a 4-3, are they in a 5-2, 4-2, however they're lined up. And then immediately I start looking at defensive lineman stances, because you can tell a lot of times by defensive end how he's lined up, what he wants to do, where his first step's going to be. That was always a key as a player. Playing left tackle, in the NFL was when I was watching a guy, I wanted to know where his first step was because I had to take away that first step, whether it's a run or a pass. So I had to, for a pass, I'd have to set accordingly. For a run play, I'd have to, block accordingly to where his first step is going to go. So I still kind of got the binoculars looking at that front seven, and then I can read stances pretty good by this, so I know when our offensive linemen, from being out of practice, when they're going to pass, And again, down a distance sometimes dictates that. 3rd and 8, everybody in the stadium knows you're
everyone in the building
pass,
knows,
right?
yeah.
But, first down, second down, whether it's going to be a play-action type stance, whether he's really heavy on his fingertips, like it's going to be, running right behind him.
Yeah.
And then kind of look, and then, you kind of draw back and you look at the tailback, quarterback in your binoculars, and just sort of look at it that way. And then obviously on passing downs, you want to look at the secondary, you want to look at the wide receivers, and look at the matchups. That's always key. There's some people, and this is what my old coach, Earl Bruce at Ohio State, was so good at. He could expose a matchup. He would always ask when he came off the field, hey, do you have your guy? Can you handle your guy? And Of course, you always want to say yes, but you got to be honest with him because you're having a hard time. Like, no, coach, this guy's really good today. Okay, we won't run behind you on 3rd and short. Then we'll find, it's something else. So, but if you are handling your guy, and if you got a wide receiver out there that's beating the corner, beating the safety, you got a tight end that can beat the linebacker in coverage or the safety, then you got to go to him. You got to have plays. So I think that's what you try to watch too. Who's the matchup out there, and who you want to look at, and our coaches do a fantastic job of finding those mismatches on those matchups, and then go out there and attack those guys. So it's kind of fun to look at it from that. And again, that's from watching film during the week. You can see who the best defensive end is, who's the best defensive tackle. You try to narrow it down because, obviously if you're game planning, you want to run away from those guys. Yeah. So same when I kind of watch the film during the week, I'm like, hey, this guy's really, really good. Let's game plan around that a little bit. Right,
let's move to the other side.
And you can look at it. So again, it comes from film study. It's something I've always enjoyed doing. I probably don't watch as much as when I was a player, but I still like to see them all on film.
Yeah.
Because you can count on a number on jerseys and names on the back of their jerseys, but I like to look at body types, So like, hey, Jelani Thurman comes in, he's pretty easy to see. He's a tight end, at 6'7", versus say a Patrick Gerd, who's a little bit shorter. But
he's a fullback looking guy.
Yeah. So you can just kind of see the body types of the different guys, especially on that offensive line, and know who they are by their body type. And the same when you're watching a defense, you might have their names and numbers, but you kind of want to know what they look like, in their uniform, and then you can kind of helps you call the game a little bit easier. But as you said, working with Paul, it's kind of that chemistry. I mean, there's a lot of times, I can finish his sentences and he can finish mine because we've worked together so many games.
Yeah, it's great stuff too. And the offensive line is such a game within a game, and we're looking for these 5 Buckeyes that start up front to all win their own battles and do that a lot this year. That's going to be a big part of how far this football team can go. Jim Lachey, he's one of the greatest Washington Redskins of all time. How are those Commanders going to look for us this year before you go?
Well, I noticed on their recent draft picks, so their 2023 draft, out of the 7 guys they drafted, they only kept 2. So,
how about that? Yeah, that's not good retention there
no,
for 1 year.
No, that's not good. I'm surprised that their GM and their personnel guys still have jobs after that. But no, it's
new blood at the top, though, at the top of the organization.
You got a new head coach in Dan Quinn taking over for Riverboat Ron Riviere. So, they got some guys that they want to go with and feel comfortable with, and they made some changes. But, yeah, they're in my heart. They're who I want to watch. I know you grew up in that area during our era, which, it was kind of everybody in the DMV, so to speak, the Delaware or D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, where they were all diehard Redskin fans. And there'd always be that one Cowboy fan in your family. Just
get him out of here.
Yeah, just to be, just to make it interesting.
I don't like the Redskins.
But, no, it was always a lot of fun to be in that area during those times, especially with Joe Gibbs. I think the greatest head coach, considering – he went to 4 Super Bowls, won 3 with all different starting quarterbacks. It's easy to win if you have Tom Brady as your quarterback your whole career, like Bill Belichick.
Right.
But Joe Gibbs did it with any. I guess the constant would have been the offensive line and the Hogs. And I always kind of kid. I was a hog, but I'm a piglet, because I got in there a little bit late after those guys.
You still counted. You still counted. You got that Super Bowl ring to show for it. That counts.
That does count. But it's a great place to play football, and I'm counting on them to be good again, because if they're good again, then, that whole fan base will start to take off and maybe accept the name a little bit better. They're still kind of split on the name because, so many people love the Redskins and, what that brought for so many years since 1932, with the Washington Redskins. So having that change, it's going to take some time to bring it over. But I'm excited about Josh Harris, the new owner, what he's been able to do. Northwest Stadium, I don't know if I like that name, but that's something that's new, for the Redskins. But now it's a new era, and, with Jaden Daniels, let's count on maybe winning some football games this year.
That would be nice. Well, Jim Lachey, he does such a great job for us. I know it's a big college football season for you because you'll see the Iowa Hawkeyes and your son Luke, who's healthy, and that's great to see. You got a great family, and you do a wonderful job. So let's fire up this Buckeye football season, shall we?
Let's do it. Sounds great, Timmy.
Absolutely, Jim. Awesome stuff. Don't you guys go anywhere, because Austin Ward has had a lot of things simmering this entire offseason that he can't wait to see play out today here in week 1. What are they? We're going to talk to him next. It's the Best of the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At first glance, Terrence and Shania have nothing in common. Terrence is a musician. He is constantly traveling. He's 32 years old, single with no kids, and started smoking when he was 16. Shania, on the other hand, just turned 45. She owns a coffee shop. She is married with 2 kids and has never smoked. What makes Terrence and Shania similar is that they both have been diagnosed with small cell lung cancer, and it was caught early. That's right. Small cell lung cancer can affect anyone. The good news is early lung cancer screenings can detect small cell lung cancer before it spreads, when the disease is most treatable. Join Stand Up to Cancer and Jazz Pharmaceuticals to raise awareness of small cell lung cancer and accelerate the pace of research. Ask your healthcare provider about screening options that might be right for you or a loved one. Visit standuptocancer.org/lung to learn more.
Hey, you've reached Teresa and Benny. You know the drill.
Hey, Teresa, it's Armando from Chase. Congrats on closing. I'm sure Benny will love playing fetch in your new backyard.
Your Chase Home Lending Advisor will be there from pre-approval to closing. We're with you all the way home. Chase, make more of what's yours. Visit chase.com/home. Home lending products subject to credit and property approval. Rates and program terms subject to change. Other restrictions apply. Member FDIC. Equal housing opportunity.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Your local Rite Aid might be closing, but don't worry. It's easy to transfer your prescriptions with GoodRx. First, check prices at GoodRx.com or on our app. Then show your coupon to the pharmacist. It's that simple. GoodRx can save you up to 80% on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, GoodRx is free, and it works whether you have insurance or not. Download the app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
NFL action on Friday? You bet your sweet Pippi. Catch the Packers and Eagles live from Brazil. The fun starts Friday, September 6th on ESPN Columbus. Where's that? The Fans HD2 or 1460 AM.
Sponsored by Roosters.
Your home of the NFL. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony here for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is rolling out all of his new Hondas at 2.9% up to 60 months. Just not including the Civic Si and Civic Type R, but all the other awesome new Hondas, 2.9%. You love certified? He has the dream deal, 0.99% APR for 36 months on the 23s and 24s, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, pilots, and passports. When you think Honda, you have to visit Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
You're listening to the Best of the Buckeye Show because there's no such thing as too much Buckeyes. Proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. A show that knows its enemy.
They hate us, we hate them. That's the way it's got to be.
It's Michigan, obviously. I even hate them, and I'm the impartial voice guy. Yuck. Back to the Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light.
It is the Best of the Buckeye Show, and we have made it to game day. The off season is done. The Buckeyes take on Akron at 3:30, and one of the guys we've been talking to on the Buckeye Show and on a lot of our other shows, because he helps us out a lot, he is Austin Ward. We just call him our Ohio State football expert around here. Austin, here we are, man. It is game day.
I feel like you've downgraded my title as we've got closer to the season, Tim. I don't know. What am I going to be next week?
I know. I mean, you've been the whole college football extraordinaire. Are we just making you the Ohio State guy? I mean, he pays attention to it all. Fellow card ripper as well.
I just like Ohio State guy. Like, cover it, be there.
Not Buckeye guy.
No, I'm not Buckeye guy. That's already trademarked.
No.
I am the fans' Ohio State guy, and I can't wait to be there for kickoff. I can't wait for this thing to get underway. It felt like this offseason was the longest one of all time, Timmy, and it's going to be great that we have something new to talk about.
Well, check out Austin's hit podcast as well, The Podcast, him and his buddies from Dotting the I. And, we talk about all these different storylines. We did our rankings throughout the course of the offseason, but things can always sort of change as you get closer to game day. You get a different type of feel. Now, here we are. We're finally going to get to see all these things that we talked about. So now that we're here, what are those first couple of things that you are dying to see when that ball finally gets kicked off?
Yeah, I think you have to start, Tim, with Will Howard. I mean, he's making his starting debut for Ohio State. There's always intrigue. There's always scrutiny. There's always attention. There's always pressure on an Ohio State starting quarterback. And so Will Howard is doing this for the first time. And even if it's Akron, even if you think it's going to look pretty good no matter what, when you surround him with this much talent, you still have to go out there and do it. He talked about, really the only time that he's been in there with a crowd in the Horseshoe was the spring game. And he referenced that on Tuesday. There was 82,000 people there. He couldn't believe it. Kansas State didn't even really have a spring game. They just had practice number 15 and the public wasn't there. So, that was his first real taste of that. He's played big time college football. He's played in front of big crowds before. He's won a conference championship in the Big 12. So I don't know that any of that stuff is overwhelming for him. And even I think being in the Horseshoe for the first time probably won't overwhelm him, as mature as he's been and the way he's handled this whole process and won the starting job and everything else that comes with that. But this is still, there's going to be nerves for him. There's going to be different sets of evaluation, and Ryan Day and Chip Kelly are going to be in his ear with that new headset. And so all of the way that this stuff works, the way that he's operating, being out there with a different defense and live bullets flying in the Horseshoe, that's all going to be new. And we'll see how that transpires. But any conversation about Ohio State as a national title contender is always going to focus back on the quarterback.
Yeah, it begins with him. And I think you said it too. He's a smart guy. Like playing in the Little Apple out there in Manhattan, Kansas, in a Bill Snyder family stadium, any stadium that's got the word family in it, it's just tempered down a little bit from what you're going to get with a place like the Shoe, one of the most iconic football venues in America, college or pro. And a game day is a special thing at Ohio State, and you're always shooting for 105,000 fans every single week. So I think a guy like him, he's experienced pretty big college football. Now he got to take this opportunity where he's going to experience the absolute best of the best, and he can have whatever he wants if he can go out there and execute. You can be a national champ and put yourself down in the history books at one of the most famous football programs ever. So I think he totally gets that.
Yeah, national championship, be in the mix for the Heisman Trophy.
All of it.
Be a first-round draft pick. Ryan Day has said that over and over. No pressure, but those are the expectations of being the starting quarterback at Ohio State.
Yeah,
no pressure to accomplish those three things. Now, that doesn't mean that you're always going to hit the mark, but that should be the goal, and you should be holding yourself to that standard if you want to be the quarterback at Ohio State. And I think to Will Howard's credit, he had the options in front of him in the offseason to take it all the way back to December. He could have gone to the NFL draft, who knows, 4th, 5th round. He had that option in front of him. Go out there and go start making a living. USC, you had Lincoln Riley also saying, I believe that this guy has that potential. I'd love to work with him too. Mm-hmm. And you had Ryan Day and Ohio State on that table as well. So, he could have taken different routes. He could have taken less pressure. He could have taken less scrutiny. He could have gone, to USC for a year and played for Lincoln Riley, and they don't have national title aspirations this season by any stretch of the imagination. But Will Howard chose a place with a huge platform. He chose a team that expects you to win every single game, and he chose a place where Devin Brown was still going to be here. Lincoln Kienholz was going to be here. By the middle of spring, Julian Sayin was here. Aaron Nolan was committed. He chose that route. And I think no matter what happens, you get some credit for that. But now you made that choice. You're here. The season is underway. You have to make the most of it from here out.
Austin Ward is with us here. It's a little Buckeye Show Best of special here on game day. We had an hour to fill. We figured, why not do something like this to get it popping a little bit, to get people ready for the fan pregame show that's coming up here at 10 o'clock. We'll have the Ozone Tailgate on Lane. I'll be out there doing some stage announcements with my new buddy, Boom Herron, former Buckeye running back. Dane Sonsenbacher is going to be doing some stage announcements with us for the rest of the season as well. But, Austin, I'm wondering, doing what you do, what's a typical game day for you look like? And by the way, next Saturday, you'll be doing the fourth pregame show. Be like the pregame show because we don't play until nighttime. I forget what time we got you starting. 7:30, 8 o'clock next week.
7:30.
7:30 to 9:30. Beautiful. I can't wait. But what's a typical get to the stadium, wake up? Explain it all to me.
Yeah, this will be, when you add in doing a pregame radio show, that'll be new for me but the rest of a normal game day, Jeremy Birmingham, my colleague, my longtime partner in crime here, we get to the stadium about 3.5 hours before kickoff. So, A, you got to beat the traffic down there, but B, you got to be in there and set up and ready to go because we have our own, live stream pregame to the podcast channel, and you've got the availability report. So that comes out 2 hours before kickoff. We want to be ready to have our live stream, talk about the latest developments, get ready for kickoff, see the team arrive, be there, cover all that. So, make sure you handle the traffic and plan accordingly, get parked, get settled in, get everything to the press box, then get down to the field, get our stuff all handled before kickoff, get the availability report information out to everybody who's ready for that, which Ohio State fans are always waiting. I wish it wasn't done this way. I wish Ohio State was more forthcoming about their injuries throughout the week. That's a conversation for another day.
Something different. Yeah.
But then you get that you get that build up towards kickoff there, and I love to be. One of the great things, and Ohio State has not taken this away in a way that other programs have. And I understand not every program is built to accommodate as many people on the sidelines, as many media members. I understand. But Ohio State is, and they have not limited this, which is great, which is to stay down there. I like to watch, once I'm done with our pregame, the keys on the podcast, stay down there and watch warm-ups because we don't get a ton of practice insight, availability, viewing windows throughout the season.
Stuff.
So go down there, watching guys warm up, who's with this unit, who's with that unit, go through, watch all that and see some of that football, because especially a game like Akron, what's going to happen in these first few weeks of the season before Michigan State. So, some of the stuff that Ohio State is doing against itself is going to be the best reps that they get. So I love to watch all that in the build up towards kickoff, and you can feel the energy building in the horseshoe. And I never, Timmy, take that for granted, the fact that, we get to cover games in this iconic stadium for a fan base that cares passionately about every single thing that happens every single week. So just to be back in there, this is what you wait all year for.
It is. It's we work in a town like this, we work at a radio station like this with the partnership with Ohio State because things revolve around college football, and we look forward to this. This is just what we do here. So it's 3.5 hours before kick, then it's the game, then it's all the post game. It's a good 10 to 12 hour college football Saturday. I wonder what guys like us will do if we get fired or when we retire. If it's a completely different complexion, because we still love it and we'd be looking at it through a different lens.
But look at the people that have quote unquote retired recently, Tim. They can't stop. They keep coming around. They're working at this radio station and they're showing up to press conferences.
Air quotes retired, right? Tim May retired 5 years ago.
He's retired, so to speak.
Unbelievable. Hey, I hear there might be a little Yorkie opening on the bye weekend.
Oh, my.
Maybe a little September 15th action, Austin, if that suits you.
Wow. Okay.
How about that? All I had to do
was
bring it up again.
Publicly shame you?
Yeah, that's
great.
Public shaming goes a long way. Well, I got to tell you.
Someone at the club heard it and was like, oh, Tim, don't worry. Bring him on out, please.
Or you just Austin out as a new member, possibly.
Well, help me out, man.
Right. Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming right there.
One too far.
Let's start slow.
Let's
start slow. Let's get you in there. You fire a good round. Good things might happen.
Okay.
So here we go, man. Game day, Buckeyes in Akron. It's going to be awesome to see what all we learn about this Ohio State football team. Thanks for coming in, Austin. Appreciate the time.
All right. Can't wait for this game and breaking it down with you sometime next week.
Absolutely, Austin. And don't go anywhere if you missed it on Friday. The first final walkthrough of the season, getting you ready for Akron today. It's the Best of the Buckeyes show on The Fan.
It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Up early, stay late. Don't change the channel. You're home for the Buckeyes. The Fan.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
We go to war for you. Insurance disputes can be a battle, a cage match. But we're here to win it for you. I'm Robert Scherger. At Scherger Schnarr Trial Attorneys, we know the law and we'll fight for your rights. Call us at 877-WARFORYOU.com or visit warforyou.com for a free consultation. That's 877-WAR-FOR-YOU. 877-WAR-FOR-YOU. Or visit warforyou.com. War for you. Warforyou.com.
Hey, it's Steve. Sorry I couldn't get to the phone. Leave a message at the beep.
Hey, it's Jason from Chase. Congrats on closing day. Hope your daughter enjoys the new pool.
Start your house buying journey today with the Chase My Home digital dashboard. From applications to managing your mortgage, we're with you all the way home. Chase, make more of what's yours. Visit chase.com/home. Restrictions and limitations apply to the access of Chase My Home. Home lending products subject to credit and property approval. Rates and program terms subject to change. Other restrictions apply. Member FDIC. Equal housing opportunity.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $219 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com. We're dealing.
With approved credit. 2024 Sentra SV FWD 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. Offer ends 9/3/24.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
This is the best of the Buckeye Show. The most memorable moments from a show dedicated to all things Ohio State. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Buckeye talk, an occasional discussion about the latest tracksuit trends.
Yes, looking nice.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light.
I'm actually looking forward to a day here where we're playing college football, and it's cool enough where I want to wear a tracksuit. But thank you guys so much for starting off your morning. We're going to get it to pregame coverage out of the Ozone Tailgate on Lane next here at 10 o'clock. Well, if you've been checking out the Buckeye Show for the past couple of years, I hope you have. Every single Friday at 6:05 on a football Friday, I put together a thing that I'm calling the final walkthrough. I hope you like it. It's meant to be a little bit more fun, a little bit more fast-paced with the music and the sound drops. So here is this week 1 edition, the final walkthrough for Akron. All right, here we go. First week of the final walkthrough. We got the Akron game. And can we just first nod and celebrate the fact that football is really back? It's a beautiful thing. It's been a long, long off season, and there's a ton of excitement for this pivotal year. I am more excited than Jessie Spano was to sing in her concert at the Max and Saved by the Bell.
I'm so excited! I'm so excited!
But I'm not so scared because Akron is going to get the bleep beat out of it. And Will Howard, our new starting quarterback, he shares Miss Spano's excitement.
I'm so excited. Like, I truly can't, I can't overstate that, like how excited I am.
Guy sounds like you can't even contain him. It's been a week of prep as we get to the nuts and bolts that's seen absolutely steaming temps. We got 10 TV weather impact alerts all week. It is just way too hot, as Panama Ted puts it out there.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Yeah, it might be better with a Tyvis Pal ice cold lemonade. That's the drink that's going to help you. But weather forecasts are calling for 84 degrees, so we cool off. But now you give us scattered thunderstorms? I know you guys are going to go out there anyway, but now you're going to bring rain to us after this whole week?
I keep playing. I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for quite a while.
I hope you're right there. Well, Ohio State's coming off an 11-2 year, 2 straight losses, facing this Akron Zips team coming off a 2-10 season. They're bad, and a 3-game losing streak. 3:30 kickoff. Network pregame starts at 2. 27 years together for Paul Keels and Jim Lachey. How about that? The line? Buckeyes by 48.5 points. My God. Let's learn about Akron. A lot of you have asked, where the heck did this Akron Zip nickname come from? And how come none of us know? We didn't know. We got a lot of Mac blood around here. We got Miami, Kent, Ohio people, but we didn't know this, so we had to do the lazy research. We found that the nickname was chosen back in 1927. They did a campus-wide contest to choose a nickname. One student suggested they call themselves the Zippers, which was a popular rubber overshoe sold by the Akron company B.F. Goodrich. That student's name was George Zip.
George Zip said that?
Yes, George also said that someday his team would be up against it. And the Breaks are beating the boys.
Tell them to get out there and give it all they've got. And win just one for the Zipper.
I actually lied to you. That student was not George Zip. It was Margaret Hamlin. But in 1950, the athletic director, Red Cochrane, shortened it to just the Zips. Then in 1953, the mascot Zippy showed up. This was also chosen after a student contest, and it was decided a kangaroo with boxing gloves and a zipper would be the thing. Zippy is also female, one of the only 8 female mascots in the United States, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. Oh, you wanted actual Akron football things? Well, they've won 7 games in the last 5 years. They are quarterbacked here by one Ben Finley. Yes, you then ask yourself, is he the younger brother of former Bengals 4th-round draft pick Ryan Finley? The same. Oh, the other thing here, we're honoring the only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner in college football history and someone on the Mount Rushmore of Ohio State football, Archie Griffin. He had a statue unveiled today. He's dotting the I with the marching band tomorrow. How about a little throwback in the Buckeye Show annals all the way to August of 2012? T-Bone hosted, and he had the great Archie Griffin on.
When you see a one-time Heisman Trophy winner declaring for the NFL or graduating from college, do you have any celebration, any ceremony? Let's keep it real here. Is there anything that happens in the Griffin household?
I will keep it real, and that doesn't bother me at all. It really doesn't. I mean, I get asked that question all the time, but it doesn't bother me. In the past, I never tell people who I vote for or anything with the Heisman Trophy, but I voted for a guy who had already won it once, and so it just doesn't bother me. I mean, I figured if I could win it twice, there's somebody else out there that's going to win it twice. I thought it would have happened by now.
My God, Bone is always at the broadcasting chops. I once asked questions to Tress about Archie. I did not have the chops back then.
A lot of talk has been maybe it would be kind of interesting how Beanie Wells might be a kid that comes and prevents that from happening, as in keeping it the only, as Archie Griffin, still the only Ohio State guy to ever done that. What's your thoughts on Wells and the type of season that he's going to have this year?
God, make it stop. Let's hear Jim Knowles talk about what this defense is going to do for the Bucs in 24.
You know, maybe that year 3 is because, you get the guys a couple years in the system, and now you're working with veterans, so here at Ohio State, we're working with veterans who are also extremely talented. So you have to expect the best and chase perfection. It's just what we got to do.
Oh, my God. I'm probably going to exhaust the bed music here in week 1. What else? We got helmet comms, 2-minute warnings, a Caleb Downs, a Quinshawn, a Jeremiah Smith, a retooled O-line, a 12-team college football playoff, 18 teams in the Big Ten, and so much going on. And I know Beamer and I, we are going to love bringing you some post-game coverage tomorrow around 8 o'clock right here on The Fan.
And I hope to see you out there.
Well, folks, we did it. I hope you enjoyed the last hour, but we have some fantastic shows coming up to get you ready for Buckeye football. The Fan pregame show will take you 10 to noon. Right after that, it's the Fan tailgate show. They're both live on campus, so get out there and enjoy and keep it locked on The Fan all day. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Best of the Buckeye show on The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives. Today, we also face a mental health pandemic that threatens our well-being as we attempt to rebuild our social networks and communities.
The pandemic has reminded us to value family, community, and our human connections. However, it has also left many of us feeling more isolated, confused, and alone, struggling to find meaning amid loss and uncertainty.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or know how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we understand what you are going through, and we are here to help. Our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all. We work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health. If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. It sends her a steady flow of images telling her she isn't thin enough, pretty enough. They invade her brain, causing body dysmorphia, anxiety, depression, leading to the worst rates of eating disorders, self-harm, and suicide we have ever known. All while she's sitting right next to you on her phone. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Don't let her suffer the secret pain alone. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org, because it's up to you to protect your children from social media nightmares. Join us for her, for your daughter.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Find Labor Day deals during our 2-day sale this Sunday and Monday only at Meijer. Find fresh from Meijer pork loin back ribs for $2.99 per pound and large whole seedless watermelon for $3.99. Plus, get Meijer hamburger or hot dog buns for your cookout for just 99 cents. And Meijer mustard or ketchup are also 99 cents each. Sunday and Monday only. Shop low prices on everything you need to celebrate Labor Day and the final days of summer in one stop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in store or